My sister, don't wait.
Don't wait. Don't wait till
I'm in the hospital, don't wait. I'm dying, don't wait.
Don't wait.
I need your help, don't wait.
Don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
Please help me, don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait.
Don't wait.
I need you help me now,
Don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
Don't wait till I die before you help me. If you want to help me right now. Don't wait, oh sister, don't wait. I said don't wait, my brethren, don't wait. Don't wait till I die before you help me. I need your help. Help me right now. I'm in the hospital, lying on my sick bed. I just need you to help me one my life, and Jehovah will bless you. Don't wait till I die to rain cast and get my body to the grave. I said don't wait when I die before you praise me. Don't wait when I die to cry for me, man. Oh, don't wait when I die to post my photo. This woman was so sick. She was saying got a point of day. I said she went from place to place, but she could not get the treatment she needed. Finally, her son took her to the hospital. And the doctor said they should bring £5 of blood. But this woman could not afford the money. Oh yeah, even her son could not afford the money. He left the mother at the hospital. He went to family member. He went to Uncle Johnny's place. He said, Uncle, my mother is at you. I left my mother at the hospital. And the doctor said, we should bring £5 of blood. Uncle, please help my mother. Uncle, help my mother. Uncle, I beg you, help my mother. Please help my mother. Oh, uncle, help her before she dies. Johnny looked in her face. He said, my son, I don't have no money, oh. My son, no money, oh. What tell your mama say? I don't have no money, oh. I will see what to do. But next week, my son, no money, oh. He went to Auntie Asta's place. He said, Auntie, my mother is dying. I left my mother at the hospital, and the doctor said we should bring £5 of blood. I have come to beg you, Auntie, help my mother. Auntie, please help my mother. Oh, Auntie, help her before she died. Yes, I woke up, entered the house. She brought 500 from her money. She said, my son, I wish you well. I wish you well. Go tell your mama, say, I wish her well. He left, he went to Uncle Papa's place. Papa was so rich. He was rich. He had everything to his disposal. He said, Uncle, my mother is at you. I left my mother at the hospital. Then the doctor said we should bring 5 Panadol. Uncle, please, don't allow my mother to die. Uncle, please, don't allow my mother to die. Oh, you are my last hope, my last strength, my last hope. Uncle, please, don't allow my mother to die. First to die, you look again. He looked at the boy. He shrugged his head. He said, my son, I don't have money. You. I'm getting my salary by next month, oh, my son. I don't have money. Go tell your mama, say, I pay what condition. The boy left. He started crying. He said, oh God, Papa God, this life is not fair. What will not become of my mother? Who would I call my mother? Before he reached out the hospital, his mother was gone. He took his phone. He started calling Uncle Paul. He was crying, Uncle Paul, Mama is no more. Mama is gone, and left alone. Mama is gone, no. Oh, Uncle Paul, Mama is no more. He said, sorry, my son, don't worry. I'm sending her to take her to the funeral. Don't worry, my son, I'm responsible for her funeral. My son, don't worry, I'm responsible for wakekeeping. Oh, my son, keep courage, don't worry. Esther said, I will do the dressing. And then Johnny said, I will do the rain. Oh, don't wait. Don't wait, don't wait. Don't wait. Oh, yeah, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
Ugonoto mosamafa, utomaga samafa. Kekpe enyupu kevete, kekpe enyupu kevete, kekpe enyupu kevete. Afon kuma samafa, se mufana golasa.
Gumaleno,
Ibya mama
mama gumaleno,
yeah, the life we living, people don't have. The only way they have on you are dead. And they will post the photos on Facebook. Mama was so good. Papa was so good. Mama, rest in peace.
Aunties are on the street, selling their ball. They are on the street, selling pepper. You don't have time to help them. When they call you inside me, she inside. But by the time she die, you will do the expense. I'm in the hospital, don't wait. I'm dying, don't wait. I need your help, don't wait. Don't wait till I die. You bought your river, that's what my brother. You have another. She just suffering. Send you cold water in red light. Rush through water, Saduala. Just to send them to school. By the time they become somebody, you will come knocking your chest. Oh, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Oh, yeah, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Our sisters are on the street. You calling them prostitutes. But you don't have time to stop their prostitution. Stop calling them prostitutes. Find something to help them with. Oh, my brethren, stop calling them prostitutes. Our children are on the street. You calling them so good. But you are not doing anything. to stop them from stealing, smoking, for something to help them, to take them from the street. Oh, my brethren, to take them from ghetto. Oh, don't wait, don't wait, don't wait, don't wait, don't wait, don't wait, don't wait till I die. Don't wait, don't wait, my brother, don't wait, don't wait, my sister, don't wait, don't wait. Don't wait till I'm in the hospital, don't wait. I'm dying, don't wait. I need your help, don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Please help me, don't wait. Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. I need your help me, no, don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
What a beautiful music here this evening. Liberian gospel artist, Minister Jimaman Walcott is a gospel artist. Don't wait. It's time to intervene. Don't wait until things goes off. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Mr. Chiet, welcome from the Bay State of Massachusetts, Liberal State, by the way. Good evening to welcome Sebastian, Simeon, Ophelia, Tangazia, all of you great people. Thank you for joining us here this evening, as well as our men. Steve is marching on coming right here. I am Afonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. This is all things considered in continuations of our conversations looking at presidential experience. Hopeful. We're going to be looking at one of the female that we know is in the heart. Wallant Jonathan Blade is our prime time listeners and our senior contributor to Keta. Welcome. The link is out there already. So let's get a program going. I'm Afonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio. Good evening, welcome. I'm in a cardboard state this evening here, by the way, just I put myself like the guys from the cardboard state. I am Afonso Zienso. Good evening and welcome. This is all things considered. Welcome, man. Ambassador Dan, I've not heard from you. What's going on with the campaign? You can laugh and laugh your guts. Don't be jealous of me. I want to be like the butchers. Come on, what's going on? This is the Liberia Public Radio. All things considered, right here this evening. Another fascinating evening here. We're still in the process of profiling, so looking at those seeking state offices, the higher office of the land, the presidency. What we do know for now, to one of the females that because I had the opportunity to interview her, she contested before, and she still says she's still in it to win. Mandela Cooper, MOL Movement for One Liberia. Equal means equal. Join the movement for one Liberia and let's put women in Senate. That was a campaign 2017. And by the way, she did really did well by supporting the women candidates that were contesting. But she's aiming at the big office of the land. What is her path? We got to make it proportionate. We got to talk about all like we have talked about other people. What one of our a host conversation with Samson Toll. From the Liberal State, he's already here. Let's see here quickly here as part of making news proportional here. Let's look at some of the news, and I'm going to be bringing the Liberal Progressive, some of the news making headlines across the globe. 11 sentenced in life imprisoned for 2016 Ivory Coast beach attack. The delay of justice is not denied. In 2016, remember, there was an incident in La Côte d'Ivoire a beach attack. And now until like Ivorian, the Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivorian government, the verdict is down. 11 sentence to life imprisonment. They are gone. They'll be beyond that. Let them put them there and sit, things on television and everything going to be there as well. Burkina Faso government orders senior United Nations officials to leave. Burkina Faso, they're asking UN officials to leave. Oh boy. Ethiopian Airlines resume flight to Tigray, capital of Mali. Welcome to the show. This is All Things Considered. I'm Afonso Zienso, your host, your angot, and chief facilitator of this conversation. So let me go to the liberal state and bring in the liberal progressive. I don't know why he's killing himself laughing there, because if you want to have a liberal, tell me, I will send it to you. So I don't know. If you think it's fit for you, if it doesn't good for me, I can send it. By the way, how do I look? Look like one of the butchers, right?
You look wonderful. Good evening, Mr. So.
Yeah, but I tell you, you're not expressing that. I saw you killing yourself. I want to be like the butchers, man. Everybody wants to be like. Okay, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, so today is what, Wednesday? All things considered, time. You got a nice African chef, man. This guy, man. Wow. I wish that could fit me and I could just ask you to send it. I don't know how possible could that be. But I have a tailor not too far from me, and they can kind of like, maybe if I need to do some alteration, they can do that. How's that?
No deal.
yeah, that probably if I can even. Well, you no deal. You're awesome. Okay, we are back. Thank you so much. The rest, hopefully, they will be joining us here and the continuation. But also something. The president was in Bapolo today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dedications, courtesy of some of our network there we're going to bring here. But as you know, we started a process of profiling those seeking the higher office of the land. This is Madam Mandela Cooper is contesting for the higher office of the land. I don't know what are the story of all of the conversation that we have had in the past will change her possibilities. If she I don't know why it is. Hopefully, Dr. Turanka, who supports the candidacy of Mandela Cooper, will be here to give for the fair share. Hinen to welcome. And all of you, Vic, watching from inside Liberia. Emmons George is here, our senior contributor. Roosevelt Dan is here, Ambassador Dan. Ambassador, we need to hear from you. You're doing a lot of torrenting in that. I don't know what's happening in your district. But the liberal, the clerk is eating, the president, whether we like it or not, and the CDC making a little bit pitch. Little is better than nothing. And those are handbags that you can take with you to argue or making your case as a concrete case. This is what I've done. What have they done? You know, we might like it, we might not like it, but the CDC and the coalitions are making a gradual pitch into this process, and people seems to downplay it. I don't know why, but let's bring you here, Mandela Cooper. Hey, farm. Good evening to welcome from the Garden City that from Adagate, our own sister here. But let me hear from you here quickly here, Mandela Cooper. Is she a factor?
Of course, Mr. So. She's a very huge factor in this whole program, in this whole political terrain. Not only is she highly educated, very smart, and can truly express a feeling, not just a feeling, but some of the things that she sees that are the ills of Liberian society, and she can also express. Bring in some truthful solution, according to her. So she's well equipped. I'm not too sure if the Liberian electors are equipped, though. I'm not too sure if the Liberian voters themselves can get past the fact that she's a mother. I'm not too sure if the Liberian voter themselves can get past the fact that she a female in this man-dominated terrain. And I think the men around that are in this political terrain need to make it clear to all of us that yes, female participation in this process is welcome and it must be encouraged. Because there are many of us who have daughters.
You know, this is you are
Mr.
about
So,
to murder.
the
Hold
liberal
on
is
one
on the
second.
road, and now
You
you're
are
going to
about to murder this conversation here. It's
why am
strictly
I
race
mounting the
cars.
conversation, Mr. So? You asked me no question, and I'm telling you that yes, she's very much in play, and I'm trying to explain to you. Now you're coming in with this your how to call it, district commissioner 1950 hat. Now you're going to try to dominate me here tonight.
Oh,
You're
my
going to try
goodness.
to see if you can utilize that your district commissioner 1950 hat, which the Congo people used to use up in the countryside, try to make sure our voices are not heard. You're going to come and try to wear that hat here tonight and trying to suppress my voice. This is America. You can wear all of the district commissioner hats you want to wear, but you're not going to suppress me here tonight. So let me finish my point. I said those of us that have daughters will encourage the female, the male counterpart that are involved in this entire political terrain to say to the Liberian people, we encourage and we accept and we will welcome female participation in this, because male-dominated political terrain is not something that we should embrace. Mr. So we have sisters, we have mothers, we have wives that are part of us. They are partners of the Liberian people. They are not servants to no one. So we have to express that to our Liberian brothers and sisters to understand that a female involvement in this process does not mean we're decorating the process itself. These females have the capacity to lead. They have demonstrated it before. Madam Sali was there. We might not agree with her, but she demonstrated as a female how, and she showed the men how to lead. This lady is fair in play, and she can really, really improve the system.
I knew you were going to get somewhere. It's not a surprise to me, Commissioner. Maybe a commissioner for total. This guy is so ridiculous. I mean, this stereotype thing is just so grounded in you. Seriously? Jonathan, good evening. I knew you were going to go there. That's why you were just killing. I should have brought you on the screen when you were killing yourself, laughing for whatever reason. This is what you wanted to get out of your chest. Are you okay now, or you still get more to talk?
Mr. So, it's a show. We're on here. We're gonna continue to have conversation. But every time you try to suppress me, the fact that you're dressing here tonight, the only thing perhaps you even wearing it, but we don't see it, is the boots. The boots, the Congo people used to wear when they wear their hats to go in the mud, and then they come out for people to carry them in a hammock. This is the kind of hat they used to wear, and this is the
used
kind
to wear hammock. Then you are indirectly trying to get to Jennington, and I alone you're going to bring.
No. Please let me just make that clear very quickly. On your own show, the CDC professor asked Honorable Cummings about that, and Honorable Cummings came out and explained to the Liberian people the reason why the hammock situation was. And in fact, I'm quoting, I'm not paraphrasing here tonight. He said, I am sorry for that kind of picture to be, but it was not the intent. Mr. So we can't say that's something that we're going to be shied away from.
Wow. This is unbelievable. Jonathan, good evening. Oh, Jonathan, you giving him thumbs up?
I enjoy the labor.
You enjoying him? You know what they call those bamboo stick that you can't rely on him? That's the liberal. Okay, enjoying. Let's see before the show comes to an end whether that you will rehash that you're enjoying. Okay, Mr. Delacare is the strong supporter, Assistant Secretary General of the Opposition Alternative Congress, and a senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio. With his mentor, Amos Joy from the far right of Atlanta to Georgia. I'm not sure whether he's going to be calling into the Leota Brown to ask few thousands of votes to pull Ellis Kumi on top. I don't know whether that's going to happen. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. So, and good evening, Jonathan, and good evening, Mr. To.
Welcome.
Yeah, good
Thank
evening,
you.
Mr. Toe and Pat Josh. Good being here again.
Yes. Oh man, you're on fire to now. My goodness. Wow. That sounds interesting. Hello, Mel. Okay, guys, let's get the ball rolling here. That's who he is. No bad boy for a child. There's no way we can put this guy. We gotta deal with why, we gotta deal with him. All right. We started it and we must end it. The end result, I think, would be the big dog himself, the big elephant in the room. That's Dr. George, not Dr. George, Dr. Weah. Mandela Cooper, Movement for One Liberia. I don't know all of the conversations that we have had. What are going to be a different one here? What is her path? What is the standings of her political party in terms of the presidency? Because that's what she's, eyeing. Amos George. We're going to be looking at some of the things that is happening in Lofa County. We saw the president presence there was fell again. And those are things that are going to be, they're going to be making their case come 2023. Amos Joy, let me just bring you here. Mandela Cooper. Is our story going to be different from all of the other one that we have been talking about?
Everybody got different stories. Everybody.
No, I mean her path, basically her path to the presidency.
Her path is very difficult for me because, I don't know her to speak. I'm heard her speaking, so I just got to know about her. Frankly, but I was trying to look at the 2007 electoral results. I think she was in a if position with 0.75 vote. I think that's a whole lot to cover. And I don't want to go to the liberal thing. He talking about this is our mom, sister. No. We just had a lady president for 12 years. So any woman, for that matter, can become anybody in Liberia. You got a sitting vice president who is a female. So don't create a narrative that Liberian people are kicking against women. Don't create a narrative. You got women who are occupying position in government before. Not just the government, but in the past. So Liberians are not being anti-women. Or do we have the number of people that we want to? I don't think so, but women have always been part of the process in Liberia. And Mrs. Cooper, the sky's the limit for her in Liberia. She has the right to run. If her message resonates, she can win. But I think she has a whole lot of ground to cover because looking at the election result that I seen here, if those numbers are right, then she has a whole lot of ground to cover. So that's my take on her. I have not seen any manifesto of her policy to say this is what she want to do, that is on paper, how she want to achieve it. I have not seen anything. And not just like she alone, most of the political parties, they have not put anything out there. So, but I would say she has the right. If the message is right, if it resonates with the people, well, she can make it. I would not be the person to say, oh, she can't make it. No, that's her. She got to do her work. And if the Liberian Party certified, they will give her the chance. And Sergeant Toll, let me tell you, let me push back on you a little bit. Every time you come to make the Congo reference, and you're the same person that talk about the device, but you're the same person come back in to talk about Congo and country.
I don't get it.
You see, we trying to get to not to push this thing aside. But someone you continue to just come back to remind people to hash this thing out. Why? Why you put every time? Congo people did it. And you know history very well. What the frontier force did in those area to our people. Why you not call it the frontier force? The indigenous army Why you not calling? And you know what they did in the rural areas to our people. Why you want to single Congo people? And I want to leave with this songs that say, not every countryman is your enemy. And not every Congo man is your friend. You have some good Congo people and you have some bad Congo people. And today, how many people in government that you see, they are typical Congo people? But look at the treatment the indigenous are giving their own people. Why you don't call them up? Everything you want to make Congo. No. Let us try to put some of the things aside and try to see how we can move the country forward, because you can't be preaching and say, oh, the country is so divided or people are this and that. But then you come back again, you're seeing the same old thing that the other people are seeing. So then what is your stand? You can't say you're neutral. You got to take a stand.
Fight my battle. Fight my battle.
Best man to do used to say, and I believe in best man to do. The best man to do. So there's no neutrality. Either you for or you for against. He said, because if you say you're neutral, you will go on another side to say, I'm voting for this side. Then how can you be neutral and go and vote for another side? And back on the other side, then you say you're neutral. No, you're not neutral. So best man to do said, there's no neutrality in any situation. You're either for it or you're against it. So if you say the Congo people are bad, then you're against it. They just say like that. But you can't have it both ways. Something to.
I say, fight my battle, my love, fight my battle. Oh, yes.
You can write everything down. I read to respond back.
Okay, let's say here. Mr. George, thank you so much. I think this is going to be one of your excellent presentations I've ever seen. Intro for that matter. And trust me, probably you're going to get enough time here this evening. I think you...
Before you can't find excuse again, please don't. Before you can't disturb this show, please. Let all have the same time.
You can never rely. You can't start no backdoor deal with him. Then he flip on you, man. You PYG say reliable. I'm telling you.
Oh no.
Okay, so Jonathan, let me just bring you in. We're still on this conversation, and Pat Joyce did say something, and we're going to be holding. I told you, moving into 2021, everybody, we all will be held accountable. We are talking about these candidates, their possibilities, how they're going to get to the finishing line. The next segment in our conversation, when we shall conclude it, all of them, we got to go into their ballot to see what they are really putting out. This is what we need to reveal this to the Liberian people. Their vision for the country, their plan, their educational plans, health, infrastructure, how their governance structure. Perhaps we have to do that. And I will count on you guys who are the top surrogates and supporters. I think that's where the opening conversation really going to begin, so that our people will make an informed decision. But Jonathan, Mr. Dulake, let me just bring you in here. Are we going to have a different story with Madam Mandela Kupot for Movement for One Liberia?
Thank you. Are you getting me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Thank you. And so I think that from my perspective, the election is not the result of the 2017 election is an indicator that anyone can use to build up on. Despite whatever percentage the person had or percent the person had, it depends how it's been utilized. And so I would think that Madam Mandela Cooper and her movement for One Liberia, after 5 years, recognizing some of the pitfalls, if they are properly situated, as she is always saying on the platform, different platforms, It means that you will not have to take her for granted. And that's how I think. And just to backtrack a little, 2011 went into the election process, and many of us thought that Liberty Party at the time would have come third. And as a matter of fact, it was the first year that Senator Prince Johnson contested. And all of a sudden, he took the third place and Liberty Party ended up fourth. That was something that everyone needed to study at the time. And so I'm not saying because it has number, but I'm saying that we from the ANC and the CPP, we don't overlook anything. We take everything serious, and that's why we play the bottom line role as the underdog or the least preferred. And it will encourage us to work for a period of time to catch up with those who have the hem of power, as it is right now with the CDC. So I would think that Madam Mandela Cooper have been making a case. I remember we met in Bapolu County where she was very supportive of Boto Kanen, the current senator of Bapolu County. And so I think by making these strides, she's been making some good headways, and who knows? That's what I can say about Madam Mandela Cooper.
Okay.
And lastly on the front of the Congo native, and when I nodded my head in support of Mr. Tu, or gave my thumbs up, it was because he made clearly, the misinformation or they thought that Mr. Cummings were happy when that thing, what happened in 2017 happened, and he places quite squarely when Mr. It won the second opportunity whether he would do same again. But on the Congo native divide, I think it is a thin line that has always or almost been erased totally, because the heterogeneous mixture of both the Congo and the native have come to a realization of homogeneity, same context. So it's almost not same. Look, I saw people calling the Chief Justice of Liberia, the former Chief Justice who hailed from a district, Justice Kopo. People calling him Congo man. Only because he mind a business, he comes from where he go into a compound. People refer to him as Congo man, but he's a native man. He for Zao, he for Nimakante, district number 8. So, but people gave the attributes either because it is meant to disenfranchise or reduce your chances of Congo native. But as I see it today, I don't see any space. Mr. Toge said, I don't see any daylight between me. I don't see any daylight between Congo and native people. All I see is wrong attitude and good attitude. And it comes from either side. It doesn't matter.
So there seems to be a consensus here, like we have had with the other candidates. There's no way that there's no path for her equally, correct?
Oh, like the other candidate, our conversation was about whether they can collaborate with somebody. In her instant case, you are asking us as to whether she can or I think that
the question still remains. Yeah, the conversation still remains the same. We started off first whether they can do it single-handedly by themselves, and then the second phase would be what would be her pathway, what she needs to do as well. But we will try to see whether, because we'll try to see whether we can blame two here, the president's dedication ceremony, what it means, Prince Johnson stepping aside, like we said yesterday. Hopefully time will permit us to do that. Let me come to you don't, Jay?
Yeah, so the pathway for Madam Mandela Cooper with the history of the last elections and her current engagement, I think they would need to co-opt some political parties. And I have been hearing that she'll be coming our way, every side talk that we had during 2020 senatorial election, I always try to find this the little corner now. That was 2021, the little corner, and to have that kind of conversation. But she's a bright lady, and I think she means well for Liberia too, like many other persons and all of us. But she needs to co-opt some political parties in order to make the process stronger. And I hope that she could be joining our institute. Could have a collaboration where the thing is big, and then
Be
she will
joining,
have a bigger
be joining
voice.
you, you said? You said to be joining you?
But
To
so
be joining
even
you?
yeah, to be collaborating or even yourself way to collaborate with the CPP.
Who? Who, me?
You of course. Yeah.
You have something to where I can be in. There's no way I can be wherever something is. So that one is out of question. He's already okay, Mr. Toll, let me bring you in here. Are you in line with them? Can she do it by herself?
I am in line with them. She, just like any other candidate, would not be able to do it all by herself. But before I do that, let me address one or two things here. Let me disabuse the central right on one or two things here. First thing is this. You know, I love these ANC people. You know, I love these ANC people.
Oh, so that's how you describe me now.
Of course. Your central right ANC. Let me find. That's the new name. Central right ANC. Because you have embraced ANC fully. So we will put you but I have to warn the ANC people that you are a central right conservative. They need to understand that. But anyway, that's something between myself and the ANC. But let me just say this. What I love about these ANC people is this. I laugh. These people, here is Mr. George making a statement saying that that Madame Cooper had 0.08%.
No.
Mr. So, the leper is on the floor. Mr. So, the leper is on the floor. Mr. So, are we? Now I see here again tonight.
No, you get
this is okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead. Mr. So is not gonna protect me. So go ahead. Make your point.
Let me just correct you again.
Okay, correct.
You on your own.
Okay.
I said in the past.
The commissioner. The commissioner do a part.
I said
You
in
on
the
your
past
own.
election, 2017.
Yes.
She came 8th place.
Okay, but you give a percent. You give us percent.
The percent. Oh man, hold on. That was according to a point. Let me correct you.
Okay.
I said the percentage is that she had was 0.75.
Okay, so I rounded up to 8%. So I rounded up to 0.08%. Mr. Soul, let me make this point. Let me make this point. For these ANC 7%, they're gonna continue and not only that, here's the funny thing about them. They are the 7%, but what they do is say we're gonna build on that 7% and we will gain more, which is realistic. I accept it. But what make them think they 7% now? What make them think that they can build on their 7%, but the other people cannot build on their stuff as well? This is something that I want to point out to the center right, ANC center right this evening. Another point here between Janitor, in fact, let me just say ANC, because Janitor is the ANC, center right is the ANC. So I'll just even it up according ANC across the board. The ANC, what you guys need to understand is this. On a very serious note, we cannot grow as a country and try to ignore our history. History is not meant to be pleasing to people. History is not, they're not written for people to be happy about all of them. There are some history that are very, very rough. It makes you a mature person if you can read your own history and accept your history as it is. And therefore, when I saw Mr. Soul wearing a district commissioner hat and trying to suppress me here tonight, it brought back some emotion, historical emotion that I saw back in Told Town when a district commissioner wear the kinds of hat he's wearing and they try to suppress our people. The district commissioner, he's a Congo man. So when I say conquer, it does not mean that I'm trying to bring a divide. Here's what we need to understand about the conquer and country divide. I am a product of the 70s. I am a product of the progressive, and I know the serious effect of the Congo people. The serious effect, negative effect. But that's not about the show here tonight. So I don't want to go deep into it. All I want to express to you and Janitor, the Central Right and Janitor, is that the Congo and the country divide is part of our history. We must accept it as it is and try to deal with it as it is. We cannot sweep it under the rug because we're in the election or because we want to have some sort of a kumbaya. You want to have kumbaya, that's fine. But your history can never be swept under the rug, or else you stand no chance of becoming a true country, a true nation, a true republic like you're supposed to be. There are some painful history in any country upbringing, any country. And so Liberia is not far removed. We have some painful history, but we must learn to accept it and move on with it.
Okay, hopefully we can get to baseline. I know
Do you
some...
Mr. Tool?
I say hopefully we can put this to a rest and return to baseline. We have a specific talking point here, looking at the path of Madam Mandela Kopo, or what she needs to do. My understanding here, I don't think she can do it by herself like the other candidates. So the second phase of the question would be, she's been very forceful. I think I had an interview with her 2 or 3 times, and she's very forceful in her talking point, a very blunt person as a whole. So what she needs to do now as well, that is the concern. Where, I mean, obviously she's in the opposition, but she has her own reservations or concerns about the opposition. So I don't know which way she's going to go. You have the CPPs, Alice Cummins, Mr. Cummins, and that of the other factions or wing of the Liberty Party, your party, and you have Unity Party, Joseph Boyka, and other segments of Liberty Party, all of that. So where's she going to go now, or who is really talking to her? Perhaps if Dr. Toronka Gwe was here, but hopefully, I think it has been a little while. Hopefully, we'll try to tap into her again to see where her position time is gradually taken away. So, who can make a guess game here? Where do you think she's gonna go?
Well, Mr. So, from that, what I can say about that is this: and every one of those people that are in the race, they're all credible people. They are all serious-minded people. And so I think if for some reason that she's going to decide to throw her weight behind some other candidate, I think that candidate going to have to speak to her ideology, number one. Make sure that she's understand the candidate is even if the candidate is not on board with everything she believes in, but at least something that she can take back to her supporters. Don't forget now, she has supporters. So she might want to have somebody information that she might want to take back to the supporters, and the supporter would then say, yes, we will support you, support that, whoever you're going to support, we're behind you. Now, how do we get there? I think one of the things that I believe Mr. Cummins is doing now, and I don't know all of the history, but just a little bit that I know, and I really truly appreciate that. And I said that here yesterday, and Ambassador Waka, who I admire greatly, continue to play second fiddle to Mr. Cummins, not by choice, but by somehow being put in the bubbles. Let me say that again. So I think what Mr. Cummins is doing that I really appreciate is that he is not picking and choosing who he perhaps need to talk to. And Cummins has the ability He can get in a room full of PhD and he will speak the PhD language. He can get in a room full of Noko and he will speak the Sansinto Noko English. So Kumi has that ability to move around. Now, another thing that he has done so far that I know of is that he's talking to everyone who wants to listen and not selling out his idea. I mean, not giving in to anybody, but to present his idea and have a genuine and respectful conversation. Now, if you come across as being condescending in your approach of people that you want their support, you come in and you want to educate them. You come in as a professor sorry type of idea coming in, then you don't stand no chance with many of these people that are coming in that want to be a supporter. So I think coming for me, I think coming stand a better chance if he want to get this lady support, and I won't put that past her to say yes, I'm throwing my hat behind comments.
So this is literally meant to put Jennington in the frost. Doroke, is there any backyard conversation ongoing for Madam Mandela Cooper as far as you are concerned with from the ANC column or the CPP?
I to be very honest with you, I cannot say that there are backdoor conversation meant for Madam Lacopo to abandon her quest for the presidency or to join Mr. Cummings as one of the collaborating political parties. What I can say and certainly say is that Mr. Cummings has always thought to share with the rest of Liberians, individuals, groups about the forward march of our country. And Madam Mandela Cooper is no exception as to how he can get that working. He have a relationship with a couple that I can say for a fact, and I think she said it on your platform there before. Cummings, it is in his DNA, like I said before. He's the only presidential candidate as of 2018 to 2022 that have engaged, cultivated intellectual minds of Liberians across the spectrum. 2017, he was contesting. He still had conversation with Councillor Gonglo. Though Councillor Gonglo was supporting Ambassador Bwaka, but these are people that he thought to have conversation with for the good of Liberia. And he will keep engaging them wherever he can meet them, however he will meet them, just for the good of Liberia. And so Madam Mandela Cooper is no exception. As to backdoor corners conversation for us to be lured over to the ANC or the CPP, that I don't know of, and I can see.
How viable is a party? But remember, tonight is all things considered. So we're going to be moving back and forth, be grabbing some apples and chips here and there. And I intend after some time, we're going to put a number here to see whether our followers, listeners can also add their voices to this here. Stay with this here. Can you tell us here openly in the honest faction, besides the ability wing of the Liberty Party, is there any active conversations ongoing from the ANC side to engage other political institutions, stakeholders into this process, besides the ability wing of the Liberty Party?
Yes, certainly. There are serious, even before I will come to the US, there are serious conversations that have been ongoing with other political parties, which I will not intend to call the name here because it's quite strategic to our interests. And those conversations have been going. In these conversations, they always a give and take process. And so there will all be political demand as to what they want, and because they will be collaborating, they will absorb their executive committee to a certain extent. It will not be active as it used to be. And if they come to the CPP, they will make up one executive committee, though they will still have their party, but the concentration now will be on the CPP. So they have been very successful ongoing conversation, and I
Is
know
it still
Liberians are
continuing as we,
willing.
is it continuing as we speak?
Right now as we speak, there are conversations ongoing. And in fact, the magnitude of it becoming a real turning reality seems to be quite, more welcoming at this moment now. So we are certain that it will come to fruition.
Okay. Like I said, the liberal,
Yes.
even though you say you don't know them, which is your folks, the Nyomble wing of the Liberty Party, more or less ALP, we know. What are you hearing? Is Joseph Boyka engaged in other political institution, or those two are just good and fine with him? Do you know? What are you hearing?
Well, when it comes to Liberty Party, whether it be Liberty Party USA, Liberty Party Liberia, I am quite out of the loop, completely out of the loop. My membership of the Liberty Party USA still stand. I have not been kicked out yet. I still have my membership card, membership paper here. So that's how I've come. Why I consider myself member of the Liberty Party USA. However, Mr. So, what I've been reading, what I've been seeing so far, I have not seen any kinds of public rift between the Nyambli Liberty Party and Ambassador Bakai. However, from all indication, and people you talk to on ground who are a little bit involved or engaged, they continue to suggest that perhaps things are not so much honey duty in that camp right now with Liberty Party branch that is with Unity Party or sympathizing with Unity Party, that they are now quite on par according to story. Now, I'm not too sure how true those stories are because I have not had the opportunity to speak to my sister, who is the true leader of the Liberty Party. The entire Liberty Party leader is our leader, is Honorable Senator Lawrence, who is the political
Are you
leader.
not member for the? Are you not USA guy again? Why you got to do with
Mr.
Liberia?
So that's my party. I can say what I want to say. Please don't try to come into Liberty Party and try to divide us. We're trying to unite ourselves and we will be united. Nobody gonna divide us. So please just stay out of it. You're neutral. You're no position. Stay with your no position. I am position, Liberty Party position. So let me express myself now. What I'm saying here, I'm not speaking on behalf of any, whether it be Liberty Party USA or Liberty Party Liberia. I'm just saying from my own Liberty Party. Let's put it that way. My own Liberty Party that I know. They're on a very serious note, Mr. So. One thing I need to disabuse you and the rest of the people here is this. Confusion cannot last forever. Peace and unity last for a very long time. We had conflict in Europe. We had World War II. It went away. Now, this other shut man can't even walk correct, call himself Russian president. He wants to start something. It's not going to last. He's not going anywhere with it. And whether you get Chinese backing or whatever, they're not going to go anywhere. What I'm trying to say, conflict do not last forever. Friendship and unity and love last. And therefore, within the party of Liberty Party, the love and friendship and unity will survive, Mr. So, despite you and the rest of your people trying to put us in a path of a conflict, I just want to disabuse you on that. The Liberty Party is a strong party.
Emma George.
Yes. Look, let me say again. I think I did some one of my Mandela Cooper interview. And I think, if I'm right, she, in the runner-up, she supported the CDC, isn't so? I think in the runner-up, the 2017 election, and she supported the CDC.
Oh, yes, she did. Yeah.
So then I start wondering, what was her political interest alignment that she saw in CDC? Is it still there today? And if actually what changes? So collaboration, whatever, there's always interest, political interest, that if they put our ideology, what are the person must say got something similar, it doesn't have to be 100%, maybe 50, 60, 75%. What do we agree on those issues? Then we can maybe say, okay, we'll collaborate or we'll merge. So I don't know whether she see any of those things in any of the opposition, or CDC she still have the same interest that they had before, whether she will change party now at this time. Those are the questions that maybe if she were around or support her will be asking them, because what did she see in CDC during the second that made her to throw her weight behind them? What were the things they had in common and today is not existing again? And if it is not, if it's so, then that means she'll go there. If it is not so, who are the political leaders from the other side that she see something now or common ground now that she may think, okay, maybe the other group must again what we got maybe 75% of something that we believe in. It doesn't have to be 100%. So those are my thinking now, you know.
Okay, let's get a little bit pick because I was privileged to have an interview with her. That was in 2021, actually. She did appear lately too, but let's listen to this. That was her. If you go further down, she was telling opposition to come together to find a way out to knock off this president. So that was a point. But again, like the liberal, he's involved. Who knows too whether she's involved? That I can't say, but we hope to have her here. But let's talk other things here, guys. This is all things considered. 9 months to a presidential election. Samson told the guy you support, Joseph Boyka, Jonathan Dulaket, Amos George, the folks, Alex Cummings, and the list goes on. Sese Goyo, Tiawan Gonglo, the Moja type progressives, and all of that. The politics of Liberia now is becoming, or is already unusual. All of these parties, they have gone ahead with their conventions, and traditionally, it's a convention. 9 months, we get to go. And we don't even know who hand is up. Others are saying we're in the third quarter, in 3 months, very soon, and just leaving us like that. And we are having these sort of conversations. There's a danger is also involved. You guys want to surprise the Liberian people. You're not giving us enough adequate time for us to process, to put our thinking cap, to actually look at these people, what are they bringing to the table? And we ask them, they say, we're still having conversation. 9 months, you've been having conversations since the whole thing here, 9 months. And liberal come here telling us, nothing lies, people, friendship, and all of that. I mean, you guys are confusing us. You're not helping the process. I don't know. Why up to this point that we don't, Joseph Boyka, he says all hand into this whole thing. Why nobody wants to be like a big boy and say, this is my running mate? Let us know. Let Liberian people have an adequate time to process these people. Why are you guys behaving like this to our country?
Mr. Soul, let me take the lead on this one here, and then I think my brothers panelists will come in here and then, of course, most likely try to disagree with me, which is okay with me as well. But let me just say this here on a very serious note. I think you said something here that is very interesting. The Liberian political terrain now, specifically all of the political parties, opposition, what have you, it is, they have been so confusing to many of us, many Liberians, I would say. But here's what I'm going to say. The like of Sese Goya, the young Liberian politician, the Henry Costa, the young Liberian politician, that are thinking about getting involved politically in Liberia to move things. Jonathan himself, Jay, most likely, when there is opposition, shall be flocked massively by CDC because of their refusal to work together. When that shall happen, the young Liberian opposition politician will understand that this is not a winning card at all. And they will also, this process, for me, it's a teachable moment for all of us. All of us. And then these young people will come and say no. Because the young people of today, the young Liberian politicians of today, they are sophisticated. They understand, they are educated. And so they don't even have to do research. They can see some of them are participating in the process as we speak. So they themselves can recognize the mistake the leadership of this current political heavyweight are making.
I am not part of that mistake, just to let you know.
Fine, that's fine. That's fine. But the mistake of people who are involved, kind of mistake they're making, these young Liberian politicians that are involved into this process are now recognizing it and pointing to these things. So when the next time, when they come together, you will see that Liberian politics will be enjoyable, just like football. And I've been saying this forever. The young people, the people like Jefferson Kochi, and I'm not saying that in a sense, in a way of being condescending to Mayor Kochi. I've been saying, go on, you know that, Mr. So I've been saying it from day one. Go on to school, because there will come time that you have tested politics. There will come time you want to be involved. And then you will not be prepared, because these young people that are prepared now will dominate the Liberian politics in the future. So Liberian politics, as far as I'm concerned, the time of Liberian politics is way ahead. And I pray to be alive, because I will truly enjoy it. Because the young people are sophisticated and they're recognizing the mistake these people are making today.
You have been very, very much 100% dishonest again here on this network.
That's what I do. That's what I do, and I enjoy myself, Mister. So you might consider it dishonesty, but I'm being truthful.
You didn't even answer. You didn't even address each of the questions, and I make specific reference. I was very specific.
Mr. So I want you to know we're not in a courthouse where I am called as the witness to try to address or answer your question, and then the judge now gonna tell me, witness, you have to address the honorable lawyer question. This is not it. We are on a platform where we are allowed to express ourselves freely.
Okay, freely you can plead the fifth, but we also are obligated to those who are following us to give them this is what they are here. But here you are. I ask you a simple question, specific question to you have cried on this network supporting you, and you do not even have the guts to come out to say, "Oh, I don't agree," or "I agree." Instead, I'm not seeking for Jefferson Koji going to school, not going to school. It's none of my business. I am asking you, and let me just give you the opportunity again and show yourself as a liberal who is involved. Let the audience, let the public know who you are and what you represent. I am asking you, you support the candidacy of Joseph Boyka. Joseph
Boyka, Honorable Boyka.
Yeah, Honorable Boyka, 2 terms vice president, one of the longest hand in this business. He contested the last time. There must be a lesson learned, whatever happens. 9 months to the election, he is unable to raise a hand that the Liberians will begin to to do their vetting, to process.
And let me
okay,
answer
this is
that.
the
Let me
backup.
answer that. Let me answer
I'm
that
just asking you.
succinctly. Let me answer that succinctly. And that is, and I'll just repeat myself. It is the mistake that is being made presently
By whom?
by all of the
No.
opposition.
Let's talk about Boyka right now. That
But
Boyka.
Mr. So, I am not here to say Ambassador Bakai. I said all of them. This is what I see. Why will you not why do you want to bamboozle me into accepting your conservative ideas and then accept them, then expect me to answer you the way you want me to answer? Is that why you're wearing that hat here tonight? It's not going to work with me. I keep telling you, it's not going to work with me, because I'm going to tell you, I said, let me repeat myself. This, you're asking me, this is the mistake all are making, because by they're not coming together. And not at this time, try to raise the hand of somebody that the Liberian people perhaps 9 months before the election, and they are yet to tell us who they are, what they're gonna do, and who's the running mate and all that kinds of stuff. And I'm saying to you, Mr. So, that this is a mistake, and not just by Ambassador Bakai, but all of them. And I'm saying also, as an educated person, as an educated person, I'm also saying to you that the young Liberian politicians that are also involved in this process right now are recognizing the mistake of the old hands. And so when their time comes, they will not make these kinds of mistakes. And you're telling me that I'm running away from you?
Cecil, good evening, welcome. You still try to process it, and if you have the answer, you can come out. Look, Jonathan, you started here when you were in Liberia. Conversation started. How long you been here?
I've been here for a couple of months.
Couple of months is relative.
I can say, and Benedict was on the couple of months. I can be specific. And I don't think it's a question for that purpose. So it's deliberate that I can be specific. But yeah, could be 4-5. But there was under the chairman very clear and verbatim in his tone that the CPP is still having conversation with opposition political parties, still engaging opposition political party, if that's what your question is referenced to. And even the most recent opposition I've collaborated with, we still engage in them. Not necessarily that we will join and have the same collaboration we had before. If that happens, it is a bingo, especially in good faith. But what we are concerned about is that the Election Commission of Liberia guidelines, that guideline that you see, Mr. So, it is important that I say this. It is town bound. It is constrained to the inauntable. You all witnessed how long it took Bernie Semoka when he became senator-elect. How many months it took. No one can violate the day of the inauguration. There will be a transitional period. There will be a time for dispute of electoral process. All these times should be calculated and should fall within the ambit of the electoral regulations. By postponing the voter registration to March, it is now about time that opposition, no position, every position come together and scrutinize everything. You don't win election on the election day. You don't cheat on the election day. There are processes and events that lead to that. So these are things that we should collaborate on. When we succeed in it, then it will give us stronger impetus to demonstrate that we can collaborate on one front of Kennedy.
Are you saying the hinge or the qualms or the reservations these political parties, and I can tell you from start to finish, even when the results are announced, there will be issue with the process. Are you saying, before I bring in Sissy here, because your patron, maybe he going to, you're going to have your back. But I trust and hopefully he takes a different line. Are you saying these issues you outline relative to the Election Commission, is that a hold up for which all these 9 months to the to this process, you have 70 or 73 major the first branch of government? We're not hearing nothing aggressive, and we do not even know who's going to be the running mate. I don't know why the CDC or the ruling establishment is so lazy to kind of like fight this with the opposition. Come on, consultation. Where are you getting the vice president from?
First day, the last time we have the press briefing in California, and you are in studio, I guess you listened quite clearly to Mr. Cummings that he contemplated on the first quarters. No errors, no county name, and he said that there are indicators that we'll be using, and people are already working on those individuals to vet out the names from whence he will make his selection. That's one aspect. Secondly, we are now waiting on national elections. There are all these things. It's not a National Election Commission issue. 11 million was given for rice. Rice are just going to sell it now 50 cents. People are buying it $20. We send money that's gone Christmas. So these are cardinal issues. When you start to have common front on these issues, then it can give a reason that indeed these people are coming closer together. More than that, the CDC that is in government, that is a ruling establishment, they now amalgamated all of the opposition to have won the election. So no one should expect that the opposition to win. It will be 15 before they win. That's not possible. If it works out, that's good. If it doesn't, it does not stop us from beating George. We are an old drum. We will definitely do that. On the issue of the successes, we accept it. Having hospital in Bopolu is certainly a good thing. As an opposition person, I appreciate that medical facility have reached as far as Bopolu. What I'm concerned about is that drugs should be there. So Samuel Toy doesn't fly out of the country. His distance will be short, and it will be able to cater to him. It will give confidence to the farmers to go there. I'm concerned about.
This is how you're.
This is how the opposition. Walabo is a place in Great Gide. They call it Walabo and Jidepo. Walabo and Jidepo got 2 polling centers. Each of the polling, I worked with National Elections Commission before. So each of the polling centers will carry almost 300 ballot papers.
You're not even addressing your inner problem. You're going to Election Commission. Let me hold you there. This
that
is
the people that collect our taxes, that the people that level taxes on, they collect taxes, they spend taxes. Opposition don't collect taxes. When last you pay a tax to opposition community?
I am saying your inner problem. You're not even. I don't even know who's going to be a vice president. You're still having a look. This sort of defect, radar, chemical or political warhead. I'm not here for that yet this evening. Look, Sissy, deal or no deal, and I'm quite sure you are appointed. You see how Sissy Goyo now forming an alliance with the Liberal, which of course they will now hold, try to kind of like give it a good Christmas tree here and think that everything that glitters is a go. Look, it's seriously, let's be honest here. I mean, 9 months to this process, including your guy. Is that consultation still going on? This seems to be a recap of 1955, 1985, when the opposition deliberately, that's what it did with the All Liberian Conference. And we are signing this caveat right now because you guys want to come here and you will start crying baby cry. I will not listen, and the Liberian people will not listen. They were fighting at the conference there, and Taylor told them that, hey, this will be fighting and I will be elected. Ellis Kuman, Joseph Boyka can see eye to eye. I don't know whatever is taking place. Tier 1 on the other side. But on a serious note, the CDC is on a winning path. I'm telling you now, the behavior of this opposition, their inability to come clear with the Liberian people, it leaves them with no alternative now. That's what it did to Jackson Dole. The opposition failed to come out to solidify. Yes, we say, well, he won an election already. But I've never seen in the world whether election would talk, they're never going to have a rerun. How much are you concerned with this process that up to this time, 9 months, we're not even talking about the 70 to 73 seats, the first branch of government. We are focusing only on the presidency, and we don't even know who the second person would be. That it will add probably a political weight. How concerned is this, or is it nothing?
So, first thing, let me two things, and then I'll get to your question. Bapulu is very close to Lofa County. As a matter of fact, it used to be Lofa County. So having a medical facility in Bapulu does not just benefit the people of Bapulu County alone. It benefits the most rural part of Bomi County and the most rural part of Lofa County. And so I am grateful. I am thankful to President Weah and the CDC government. That is commendable. I am not going to say any but to that. I'm learning a new resolution to be able to give thanks without saying but. We appreciate that, and I think that is very laudable. The next thing I wanted to say is that I came on this platform to talk about the last time about raising money for the Christian Association of the Blind. We've sent our first segment of $510 back home to them yesterday. They picked up the money today. So we wanted to say thanks to everybody there were some people from this platform who've been following us that actually reached out to me, which was really, it was shocking. The people when they saw me on this platform, they reached out in my inbox and sent me money for that with that kind of a trust. So we wanted to say thanks to everybody who stepped out to do that. Now, having said that, let me push back on your premise for your question.
Mm-hmm.
I reject the premise that the CDC is already in a winnable position. I don't see any data. I don't see any trend that support that. On the one hand, you don't want Jonathan Dolakere to talk about election commission, but you're talking about when the opposition lose, you will not listen. I don't think there has to be a collective to as a unitary form to contest against the CDC in order for people to ask for free, fair, and transparent elections. Now, having said that, one of the problems I always have when people try to take the American system and without editing it and just juxtapose it to Liberia is because it doesn't just fit. It is the same problem we have when we take curriculum from the US and try to just fit it in Liberia. I remember in high school, one of my teachers used to ask me, 2 trains leaving, one leaving Chicago, one leaving Detroit and traveling east. When would they enter? I'm thinking, where is Chicago? Where is Detroit? I didn't even see the train, right? And because they didn't edit that to say 2 pen, one of them leaving Broad Street, the other one leaving Pinville City Hall. At what point in time where would they intersect at what time to make it fit us? I'm saying this to say that in American democracy, in American political system, vice presidential candidates are announced at the convention.
Mm-hmm.
At the convention. But these play things regarding Liberians, are they really political parties? I keep saying that over and over, and there's no disrespect to the people who are in political hierarchy. Are they political parties? Because if you think about the conventions, the ruling establishment had a convention in the absence of their standard bearer at midnight. So, Mr. So you're talking, say they have the evidence that they're going to win, yet they're running from their own people. They're having convention in the middle of the night, right? So, why it is true that we do require these candidates to do something differently, to give the Liberian people ample time to look at their choices of running mates. And you're right, Mr. So at this point, every political party should be, you all come from convention already. So at convention, normally, this is where you endorse all of your senatorial and legislative candidates. So at this point in time, every political party should have a slate of who they support for what, representative or senatorial election. But then again, that is when we expect normality to happen. And the Liberian political system is far removed from anything normal. And so I am with you in that call that at this point in time, the ANC, when they are speaking about Alexander Cummins, should also be speaking about, what's the woman, the lady who's running in Mosorado County. They should also be speaking about who are the their senatorial candidates in Grange there, in Lofa County, in other places, right? They should be speaking about that. And those people should be out there doing their footwork, because when you endorse a senatorial candidate, when they are in their own district, their legislative district or legislative counties, they will be talking both for themselves and for you. But if you're not doing that, then this is the reason why people are spending money unnecessarily. Because take, for example, the LPP that my guy belongs to. If the LPP had come up with a list and said, these are people we support for representative position in Mosorado County, then Tier 1 Gonglo doesn't necessarily have to go to those electoral districts, because now you have somebody there who's running that will be beating the doors in those electoral districts, talking for themselves and for you. But because we haven't done that and no political party have done that, Tier 1 Gonglo has to go to all of the electoral districts in Mosorado County. Same thing with Comis. Same thing with the president. When I was in Liberia, he had a tour of Mosorado County. The sitting president who is living in Mosorado County had to tour the districts in Mosorado County. And so to the extent that we can have a logical political system, I agree with you, Mr. So. We've been asking for this. And the last time we asked about a kitchen cabinet, and Mr. Comis came through with a kitchen cabinet, and we beat on his kitchen cabinet, and everybody afraid now to point out their kitchen cabinet. So I think that people are going to be afraid to put anybody's head out there. And just one caveat to my brother Jonathan. I will hope the vetting team that is vetting your VP is not the same vetting team that gave us down the chair. I'm just hoping that.
Oh Lord, here we go. It was Joyce.
Look, Sissy has said a whole lot, which is true, especially vetting, because once you have convention, anyway, in America, because if the Democrats have the convention, we know that the vice president will be announced, be on the podium. Senators, representatives, we know all the list of the people that are running. But again, our system in Liberia, our system is abnormal. So we saw a political party.
When we make it normal, when it becomes normal.
Well, Mr. So, we are learning. It doesn't mean to say we have one party system for almost 173 years. One party system. This multi-democracy now we're practicing is just being introduced to us. So we are evolving. There will be mistakes made.
Really, bro?
No, there will be mistakes made along the road. So these things are happening. And the more we talk about it, it will help those political leaders experiment to try to put something in order. That's why we come on the platform and saying these things here. Sister said something about the hospital. For me, I don't make resolution, so I will always say my board. The hospital is very, very important, and I must commend President Weah and the city the government, because it will help Lofa, the interior part, Bopulu, Bombing. Maybe depending on the condition, people leave from Morovia to go there. Because people used to leave Morovia to go to the Jasmine Hospital in Nima. But I know the laborer coming to, he will jump on me. We don't plan. They have built a good hospital up there. Where's the local housing unit? You expect doctors to move, you want doctors to move up there, nurses to move up there. Did the government take all those things into account? Now they have dedicated the hospital. The next thing now is to starve it. Were there any money allocated in the budget for the first year or second year to start that hospital, medication? I don't know. What I was thinking about, I thought maybe the government should have done, was maybe to find local investors and say, look, build us on units, two-bedroom houses, and they start out more, they will pay a little, government will help compensate, and they can pay maybe $50 or $75 for 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. So we can encourage people to come here that there's a living condition here, improve the school system. But none of those things, I don't know what are in the package. So my question here now, how you expect someone who is not from that area, living in Monrovia, yeah, Chinese like can come, they can go wherever, but to move in that area, is there any incentive to encourage people to move in that area? I do not know. So when all these things are lacking, how would our hospital function 100% if you don't have the full staff? Then again, the people will continue to suffer. And I said this, I don't blame him for free thing. Never. Why the government cannot put some measure in place, like how we do here? Maybe we like beer. Those who smoke less cigarette, levy 1 cent or 2 cent tax on it. That will go exclusively for health. The people in Liberia, we should start paying something. We are not a socialist country. Let's get it right. We are not a communist country. We have to contribute something that will benefit us.
Amos Joyce.
Yes.
Let me ask you again.
Yes.
Say well, crystal clear.
Uh-huh.
Say if you give the government credit, but is that what I heard?
Yes, that's my board. The hospital is good. Nobody can argue that. That's a 100-bed. I give the government credit, but I'm saying
no housing facility
to run that will be there to run that hospital. Suppose the government will go. That's how company develop. Get a local company and say, look, we're contract. Maybe we'll pay. We'll subsidize the project. Build maybe 100 housing unit there. And maybe at a moderate price, maybe $50 to $75. So those who will go up there, they will be paid, they will live there.
Okay.
Say I didn't have a butt. Can I push back on a butt because it's too big?
Yeah.
Well, you're equal, no party.
Here is, in the US, when roads are expanded or roads are built by the government, development follows. Not the government creating the development, but people see the roads and they follow it. I remember when my house now used to take me about 35 minutes from work to get here. And when the highway got expanded to 6 lanes, now it takes me 15 minutes to get here. People are buying behind me that used to be farms. If the government has built a hospital, the people in Bapolo will be sleeping in houses. So when the nurses go there will be houses. Here is an investment opportunity now for Liberians that got money or Liberians that have access to banks and for the government to strengthen the banking system so that people can take loans. It is now left to us. If I have money, really, if I had that kind of money, I would be investing in housing right now in Bapolo. I would be investing in schools in Bapolo right now, because what's going to happen is those nurses and the doctors are going to move there. That is just a very small percentage of the people that are going to move over there. There are going to be a lot of people that are going to move from the villages to come closer to Bapolo because of they want to be closer to the hospital. When their people become older and leave, and they know that they will need more health services, they will move closer and closer to the hospital. We all know that hospitals are magnets for population. So this is the time, I think, people like us that if we have the money to start thinking about investing in that. If the government cannot do that, I don't expect the government to go invest in housing.
Additionally,
make a point. I said that if the government could support that business, that investment, if the government say, look, if you build hospital, you will not pay taxes for this thing, that incentivize the people, the business people. Okay, that incentivize people ain't happening here. People go, they say, take the local project, housing project, we give you taxpayer to build it. Or Walmart, you go in this community, people that will go there, we give you tax on the business people. It's the state or the federal government that are doing that.
Yeah, Mr. George, the one missing thing there is it is the entity that usually first the funding got to be say, okay, Mr. Government, we want to build here. Can we get a tax incentive? So it is not the government. We who's sitting here now, we have to see how can someone all raise money and say, well, okay, Mr. President, I need to build housing units in Bapolo. Can I get 3-year tax incentives to build it? And then let them say, no, but I think the government has done a good job. Let the whole board be let wait until give it.
This is now listen, you see, if you guys
government announced that if any business people want to go there, we can do this. It doesn't mean that if the business owner business people approach, but government can also announce that if you go there, we're going to give you this break.
Who is the government? Who is the government? Who makes the government?
We, the government, is.
Let me answer that question.
But Mr. Sword, you make it. The question you're asking is very wrong. The government.
I said, who?
No, hold on there. We are.
It's not wrong, Mr. George.
Hold on. Don't tell me that
The
wrong.
two ANC, they are fighting
Hold on
now.
there. Hold on there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me it's not wrong. That ain't not wrong. You talk about.
Wow, this is ridiculous.
Look,
So
the government, the president is the head of the government.
Mhm.
If the president have an idea, he can sell to the people. The people can suggest to the president. All I'm saying here, if the government say, look, we have built a hospital. Anybody who want to go invest in that area, we got some package, development package we can give. It's simple. So what is the question?
Let me come in, Mr.
I come into you, Jennifer. We're going to have a civil conversation here. I don't know. That's your view. We respect people's views. We don't sanction people's views and opinion. The hospital is there already. You outlined the benefits it's going to bring within that community. People with the expertise now, more or less, are going to be going, and that's where you're going to see investment and other things going to be going. And it is within the rights of the citizens themselves to say, okay, see this sort of modern structure that we have. We can do this. They can also put out their grievances to national government. You don't expect the president to come, okay, hospital, yeah, you can, who won't do this? Now, if you guys, listen, hold on. If you guys in the opposition, if you are not careful how you curve or how you make your case to this president, remember, the CDC has been very, very successful in creating this narrative about themselves. Everything about this president is hate. And so when they hear that, saying this, where credit is due, you don't want to give it and just want to say, oh, because the president tell people, oh, we'll go there, they will do this, they not build this housing, they don't do this. Everything is not 100% in America. Come on, we all know that.
Okay, so you
but when there is a hairway, you can acknowledge that. Yeah,
George,
hold your peace. You already talk. I want to go to Jennifer. Jennifer has not even answered what I, Sissy make it crystal clear. I saw the liberal clapping. I don't know why he clapping. His clap too. Sometimes you don't know why he clap for. A clap can be upside down, inside down. So I'm not even going to judge to that. But hold your peace. Let Jennifer come in. Jennifer, you listen to what Sissy said.
No,
is it welcoming?
No, I want to correct you, Mr. So. I didn't say it was a bad idea.
Pajak, come in. I will give you some time. Pajak.
I just want to.
We don't do layaway. We don't. I think we have to.
We selling palm here now this time.
Yeah. They're not reselling.
Let me say, as two-time legislative research analyst in the office of Bapolu County Senator. Mm-hmm. When we speak, I know where Pat George is coming from about the issue of incentive. Maybe we're not grabbing it the way we need to grab it. But when I sit and see a hospital in Bopolu that I've been a couple of times, and imagine a distance between Bopolu and Lane. You know what they call Lane? Lane is just a stone throw to Seveloon. And that a normal Datono, where they had a rerun of Botokane election. When you see the roads that lead to those areas, then you will come to understand why Bapolu was selected. And this is what I want to point out. When someone on spoon today, I told Stanton to allow me to come and provide education. The people, the sons and daughters of Bapolu County, the county development funds that they have accrued over the years as of Madam Salif time. Every time they intend to use it, government will use it for other priorities. Every time. And because there was this confusion between Senator Nathan and Senator Amazulu Jara, that situation lasted when Amakuno was minister, and there is millions of dollars that the government of Liberia owed the people of Bapolu that they have not had accounted. Is
that on a president?
What project they are going to do? It is for this background.
Jonathan.
Both on the president we are. It's an accrue. Government is continuity. Government
who?
continue to. I'm trying to give you the wisdom. The wisdom I'm trying to give you for the news content is that because Magiel, they were aware of that accrue money over a period of time. That's how they thought that since the country is not getting any benefit from country development fund, let's bring up the national development to impact the county. My take on this thing is that it's a good project. Not because I'm AAC member or CPP member. The Liberians are going there. We got a good number of the buyers or they're hunting. So they will also go to that hospital. And everybody that go there, they're Liberian. But it should be kept to the disposal of the people. In my instant case, the government should be channeling how to connect those roads. Because if the hospital is there and people cannot come for Kumba, freely to get to the hospital, it's of no use. If those people die in the bushes where logs are coming from, where diamonds are being exploited from, where Senator Nathan have written several communication to the potem about the exploitation of diamonds and golds in those areas and leaving the people there as he is doing, as the potem is doing to who in Grenku, it will not have the. That is what I'm trying to register. So when it comes to the incentive that Pat George is raising, that is portion of the incentive. How he can release the people money so that he can buy art moving equipment for roads, like Nima Kante did, and got 22 equipments. That's what the government need to do so they can have access to the hospital.
So
that's the angle.
Before the Liberal come in here, what's the name of the hospital?
The main lease on time beyond the give it to the ANC, brother.
No. The man being talking plenty here. So are you saying the money in development or whatever money is that's another form of government has replenished that and giving by building that facility for Bapolu? Is that what you're saying, Janitor? Is that your argument here?
No, I was very clear, unambiguous, that millions of US dollars have been accrued by Bapolu County Development Fund.
That's what I'm asking. Is that why in place of this facility?
That's one. In placement of this, Magiel smartly might have convinced the president that given that the country have been suffering, can't get her money because of confusion, there's a need that will do so giant extract people. My thing here now is it's a good thing. But Magiel, Minister of Presidential Affairs,
Magiel, Minister.
How you take Magiel to be?
Is Magiel a minister?
When the hospital started being built, when the hospital groundbreaking took place.
So the erection, the building of a hospital, are you saying it was influenced by Mangue?
Oh yes.
Because
yes.
My goodness. Okay, let's inspire a little bit. The Liberal.
Yes, Mr. So. You know, as you guys were talking, I decided to go on Google Earth and go to Liberia and go to Bapolu. It's very sad. It's very, very sad. And the government of Liberia, not just this government, but the leadership of Liberia, for some reason or another, I'm not too sure exactly why, but they tend to do things where American men would say, put a horse before the cart or whatever the slogan would be. And that's exactly what's happening here. The hospital itself is a beautiful idea. It's a good thing to have a hospital. But remember, we have that in Nima County. The Jackson F. Doe Hospital in Nima County in Tapeta. Beautiful, beautiful hospital. The building, beautiful. They decided, so sad. They decided they were going to put a concrete roll that will go in front of the hospital. Paved concrete roll. 4 inches thick. 4 inches thick of concrete roll that you expect the trucks that carry all of these products from Guinea and everywhere else to travel on. 4 inches thick. It's up here and up now, anyhow. But that's besides the point. Just last year, there was a story on the news where somebody from the Wee area were coming to the hospital and the person died on the road. No roads. You have this beautiful building here, beautiful hospital here in Bapolu. No roads. When it's raining, how do people get to these places? How do they get there? It's difficult. Now, in terms of development, here in the United States, and I'm in the road business. So when you do traffic count and all those kinds of stuff, you do future. And most of the TI, which is I'm not going to explain that, but the TI is always 20 years, say 20 years from now, or something to go 25 years from now, or 50 years from now. And then you see what the population growth will be at that time. And they have people in Liberia that can do these kinds of stuff. You're going to get technical people involved. And I bet you when the Buffalo Hospital business, when it started, the selection process had nothing to do with technical issues. It was all politics. And as a result, you have this beautiful hospital over there, not planned, by the way, because if it was planned, perhaps the government would have invited, as someone stated earlier, would have invited some business people to say, this is what we're planning to do. This is the land area. This is the area we're going to put the hospital. We have surplus land here for people to develop. The hospital going to need staff. People come up with ideas. Okay, the hospital going to need staff. The hospital not only going to need staff, but when you have the staff, do you have stores to put food for people to buy? Money is there in our country to be made. But because people that are leading, they have their ideas of development is so short, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And we see this happening even in Monrovia when they build these little roads, the artist road, they call them street. When they're building it, they don't consult the neighbor. You have to make these people who the road is for, to make them part of the process, to be ownership, to take ownership from the beginning. And if they do that, they will do everything possible to protect it. You don't have money for maintenance. What's the budget here for maintenance of this hospital? Have they stated that? It's fine right now, but you think it's going to remain fine ever? Who's going to get it painted? Who's going to be painting that later on? All of those things need to be taken into consideration, but that's not even my main thing. The hospital is going to be there. They're going to staff it. But the staff, some real good doctors, most likely because of the shortage of what I just said, no row over there. Many of these good doctors might not even want to be in a hospital. How do they come home to go see their family? Or how do they even get out of there when it's raining? The road no road for them to go anywhere. They'll think about that. So you once again, you're shutting yourself. You're limiting yourself of bringing in the brighter and the good minds of the country. And this is what we have. So as far as that hospital is concerned, first of all, I want to say congratulations to the president. We all appreciate that. But I think they need to do all they can to provide the roads, connectors that will connect this hospital to many of these little communities, so they will be able to take their sick person in that place. Other than that, we're going to have the same thing with Jackson F. Hospital. People will die before they get to the hospital.
Is that not renal services?
Can I just say something real quick, and I'm done with this hospital talk?
Yeah.
Because I'm really struggling to understand what the narrative is here. We all understand that in Liberia, we lack functional road network connectivity. We all know that. We all know that in Liberia, the economic centers are far removed from the hinterlands. We know that. So why are we tying this to this hospital thing? But yes, one thing I get to say, I know my brother Jonathan tried to talk about, Bapolo and these places you were naming. I grew up in Bomi. I went to school in Bomi County, so Bapolo is right now.
Say, please, I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to point out something very quickly, please, if you don't mind. There's something happened here a few minutes ago. And this is what I just want to repeat this when I talk about the smartness of the young Liberian politician. Sese brought in something. He wrote something and said that, or he made a comment and said that Comey appointed cabinet, kitchen or whatever you want to call it. And Jonathan recognized that very quickly, and that he cannot sit here for this to pass. He came back and said that was not the case, because if that was the case, they would have been violating the election commission rules. What Jonathan has done on a very serious note, if anybody go back and present this, that there was an ANC man on this platform when they discussed, and this is a comment, Jonathan has already sealed and put himself away from that. That is the smartness of the young Liberian politician.
So you took me off track. Let me respond, because there was a response to Jonathan on that. And
no, Caesar, please go ahead.
And I tried to educate my brother that there is nothing in election laws that prevent you from forming a kitchen cabinet, which is a think tank, which is your team around you, the people you listen to. The president has a cabinet because those are his advisors. The reason we call political parties advisors the kitchen cabinet is because you're leaning on them for advice and for counsel. That is why they are in your kitchen as a cabinet. They're cooking the meal that you want to
thanks
do.
for the explanation, but please jump off of that and go on to your comment, please.
No, you just hold on now.
They are helping you to decide what ingredients go in the meal, what people are allergic to. They give you all those advices so you cook a meal that is palatable for the Liberian people. That is why they are your kitchen cabinet. There is no election law that will be violated by that. You name a team commies. That team commies are your advisors. That is why Louis Brown has been out speaking on critical issues on behalf of Mr. Cummings. That is why they form part of the kitchen cabinet. So my brother was trying to muddy the water, right? Because there is nothing in electoral law that says you cannot have a team of advisors. If it is, let him point it out to me. But back to the issue with the clinic. I grew up in Bomi. I'm from Lofa. And I will tell you right now, that hospital being built in Bapolu saves the life of people who otherwise will have to drive from Bapolu to Topmerber for critical medical services. It saves the life of people who have to drive from Bele Fasaman to decide whether you will go to Tereweyan Hospital. By the way, Tereweyan Hospital in Lofa County is farther away from Monrovia than this hospital is going to be in Bapolu. Tereweyan Hospital in Lofa County is more difficult to get to because of road problems than it is going to be to get to the hospital in Bapolu. Yet then still we have doctors in Tereweyan Hospital that the government has staffed, right? And my little brother is a medical doctor right now in Sando. Takes him 3 days to get from Sando to come to Monrovia to see his family. And the road network is just as worse. And so for me, the hospital being built in Bapolu saves the lives of people in Kombo that have to drive farther distances to get to Bomi, when in most cases, even the Bomi hospital does not have electricity. It helps the people in their surrounding places who have to put their families in hammock to bring them all the way down there. And so for me, I think this is a no-brainer. I think we can talk about all the other things, the staffing and what it takes. That goes into budget. That is when the legislature have to do their work next year to make sure there's budgetary allotment to sustain that hospital and to also staff the hospital and to be able to provide medication for the hospital.
I think we all the same thing, but maybe just a different path. Nobody had any qualm about that hospital. The hospital is
honestly, here you just came and dumped the kitchen sink.
So no, we didn't. So that's what we didn't do. That hospital is very crucial. But let me say this: my own thing I talk on record. The Jackson Hebdo Hospital, I think it was last year. They took one of the machine, I think the MRI machine.
Look, Amos Joyce, please don't do this yet. Talking about taking machine, we have seen a lot of things happening here. Jackson Hebdo has rendered a hospital or medical facility something told there. He knows that. With people from Zuedo, from Maryland, from Kmart, even people living from Monrovia going there to have to administer tests. Yes, we understand the rules are bad, but yet then still doctors are there. People are there still rendering services there. So why can we say that?
No, it's also you're missing the point. I had never said on this occasion that hospital was not vital. I have said all I'm saying. My concern is it should be kept up to date. There are things needed to be done. If it is not yet, it can still be done because the more.
How sure are you? We have not even talked to the leaders. So why should we convict these people without having it? Is that because
Mr. So we can see people died last year? People died on a motorbike. People died on a motorbike trying to be taken to the hospital. So we just want to make sure that is said.
You're not making sure. You want to make sure you need to tell your Joseph Boyka, who has served as a vice president for 12 years and unable to tell us who's going to be. These are things you need to be focusing on. You don't want to do it.
That's
Yeah, we'll come here
Mr.
tomorrow and
So,
start crying.
this is not about Ambassador Bakai.
The man
Ambassador
talking-
It's
Bakai
about
time
me.
will
He
come and he will
wants to be there.
stabilize.
Yep.
Ambassador Bakai time will come and he will stabilize this ship that you're crying about, and he will help you to lead Liberia to the betterment to better off all Liberians. So
He can
please, Mr.
stabilize
So,
two party
why
from
you
the better- he
believe
can't
why you
stabilize
believe
his own party
Ambassador
that
Bakai has
Liberia, he
been
will
serving so
stabilize.
many years? He that's why he's coming now to tell you that I am here to lead this country, and he will lead it successfully. Mr. So, please rest assured, your savior is coming. Ambassador Baka is coming to save this nation.
So something to that way. They think that way you go that way you go end up.
Mhm.
I want to help you, but I can't help you again. You say
Wow.
what?
Yeah, man. I swear to God. Wow.
Something to. The man you say he's silent and then Mr. So called me. What wrong with you? Mr. So go ahead. Now I can tell something to.
Look,
Okay.
Hello?
so how can they? Is that janitor? No, look, this is it sounds funny.
There are certain fundamental things. There are certain fundamental things, Mr. So, that we should understand about development. And that is why it is time to be a hiccup for the conversation. Nimba Kante may not have some of the pleasant role. But I remember 2010, when that hospital was on the way, the Nimba Kante Development Fund, they had a setting through a legislature, they called on the superintendent, and they bought 22 moving road equipment. They needed a means by which people can connect. And if you think that there's one isolated case or some other cases that people have not had chance to reach to the hospital, but the fact that these people have been doing that role over a period of time demonstrate clearly to a larger extent that they want to connect people so they can have access to where the major health facilities are. In this instant case, a hospital is just taking a put in Bobolu. People will get in contact. The country has money sitting in the treasury of the country. No way to access it. It's an embarrassment. So we hope that in a not too distant future, there's good work that have been done. The government can see reason to give some of Bapuru County people social development fund or county development fund so that they can connect the roads so that people can have access to the hospital. And lastly, Mr. Sese, if you are not announced campaign for me, an election man, when it comes to Liberia election, I deal with it sufficiently with neck. When it comes to campaign, if you call campaigning, you say coming volunteer like kitchen cabinet, you and I got no talk. When you call campaigning to attach it to it, I will distinguish it because it's a violation of the process. Commies are only maintain commies, those who volunteer.
I have not called a campaign name. I said Arizona Cummings has a kitchen cabinet. A campaign. And a campaign. You can't cite. You cannot cite for me any election guideline that violate. I'm waiting for you. Cite that for me. You can, because you, as long as you allow to have
an announced campaign team.
Mr.
Who's that? Yeah. Okay. That's it.
No wonder what.
Yeah,
no wonder.
yeah.
No wonder what this. He's getting ready to dance Buga here for us tonight. What is that? No wonder. I hope Sese is not with CDC though. I hope Sese is not with CDC. He's getting ready to do Buga.
My daughter came downstairs and turned on the music.
It was a mistake.
My daughter turned on the music downstairs. But here's the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make here is, if an advisory team, a shadow government, a kitchen cabinet, those are all synonyms. If you can name an advisory team, you can name a team that is your kitchen cabinet. Those are the people you go to have consultation with about things moving forward with your campaign. And whether you call it a team, whether you call it a cabinet, whether you call it a shadow group, whether you call it a collection of volunteers, every campaign, every shadow government, every kitchen cabinet is made out of volunteers. There is not one guidelines in election commission law that you can cite to me, Jonathan, that will tell me that it is
I agree with you.
to have a
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Okay.
That don't call campaign in our.
I didn't call campaigning. I just said that your shadow government, but saying you're with your defense minister, you bring him by it. We stay waiting.
He working
He
in the
working
background.
actively. He working with Walker code. He waiting for Joe to sell Walker paper so they can go.
So we're putting in the background. He working in the back. So
Look, your own these little alligators you're raising unknowingly to yourself here, they're gonna go. Yahweh eventually, he who rides the back of the alligator goes into the belly of the alligator.
Not all the
Daniel
time.
Charles Taylor, all of that. They are alligators, bringing in Daniel Chie and all of these people here.
You might be surprised that perhaps Daniel Chie perhaps has evolved himself, and therefore perhaps Daniel Chie might turn out to be somebody that many of you will praise later on.
You see, this is the problem.
Daniel Chie accept war and economic square code. The vice president does not accept war and economic square code. Daniel Chie is far better than the vice president.
I think the opposition needs to find her voice. That's my candid advice. They need to find her voice, and they need to be very strategic, because listening to people like Samson told is just a losing.
I am not a member of the opposition, Mr.
You are.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't know Ambassador Walker and his people. I just admire them. That's all.
You know what? Then you need to just be quiet into this.
No, I cannot be. You see, this is what I say. You wear the commissioner hat. What do you mean? I need to be quiet on Public Radio, a platform that is expressed for people to truly express themselves. And you want me to? That's why you're wearing that Congo hat, the Congo district commissioner hat. Now you're ready to suppress my view again tonight, because you feel that you're wearing the district commissioner hat, and that now gives you the power the Congo people used to have. And this is America. We can't do that here. You can't suppress me.
Oh Lord,
this is so sad. I don't know.
I thought the Congo thing was finished. I waited for it to be finished before I came on. They may not bring it back on again. I was avoiding that Congo thing when I came on late.
These are the people Joseph Boyka hanging with. These are the people. These are the handlers of Joseph
Boyka. Don't know me. I'm not part of Joseph Boyka team.
If he doesn't know you, you would not come on this public network and telling.
Why can I be truthful? Why can I not be truthful? I admire Ambassador Boyka, and so I'm being truthful. That's how it is. I'm not speaking for them. They don't know. I don't know them.
Talking about a hospital, your own Grand Association, how many photo continent, despite of the road challenges generator, what was the contributions of diaspora's Grand to that hospital? Did we say, oh, because the road bad, we didn't do something? That's
you
where
see,
we
now here's a thing that you're bringing in
as a citizen to also do our share. This is where it comes into to say, okay.
But
now,
if you're going to say that, Mr. Stowe, if you're going to say that, Mr. Stowe, if you're going to bring in Grand Association, then you have to go further than that, because Fred Guion, the former president of Grand Association, put a team together. The fact that they were investing in a hospital, decided to put a team together to do an assessment and then possibly fix the roads in Grand County going to the hospital. All of those things were part of the Fred Guion administration. So if you're going to bring that Grand Association contribution to the hospital, then you also have to say that.
I'm talking about no. I'm talking about something that has happened, something that we felt. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about something people put together. It never succeeded, but it was in the making. That I'm not dealing with abstract. I'm dealing with something that is concrete. I'm just only telling you, within the case of this hospital, which we do not want to acknowledge, it's ridiculous in itself. It is absurd. Then, whether there are 5 or 10 citizens or people from Bapolo in this country or any other place too, that's when they can come together and say, this is what we can do. I'm just only telling you, there was no good road network, there was nothing, but yet 44 container medication, generator, everything was still sent there. So while we as a citizen, we can do our own share response, we can have our own share responsibility in the reconstruction. It doesn't necessarily go to the sitting government or the president.
Mr. So let me disagree with my again. The government collect our taxes.
You paying taxes in Liberia?
I got property that I pay taxes. Then I send remittances.
The moderator got a way to get other people's skin, I swear.
I don't know. We have to try to identify his political affiliation.
No,
Sooner or later we're gonna have to.
But say the other way. But George, say the other way. But the question means that he is not paying taxes.
No,
I'm asking. I say, are you paying taxes in Liberia? The answer is yes, and it's understood.
Yeah, but
right?
I'm just saying, I do not have to find Mr. So political affiliation. But let me tell him, we remittance that go to Liberia is about 11%, and that is the whole budget of the Liberian government education. The Liberian government contributes 11% of the overall budget to education in Liberia. Remittance we send from here is 11.1%. People
put on the table here. Let me know the oppositions.
Hold on there.
I mean, we need to also dive in this.
You will ask your question. Let me just end my thought. What I'm seeing here is Joe Biden. How much money they put in for solar renewable energies? They put it all that the people who want to invest can invest into it. So what I'm seeing here for you to say that it was absurd that someone don't want to recognize the fact by the hospital. No. We all understand, I agree that the hospital is very much necessary. But given the condition of the area, I said, government should approach people, could make an announcement, look, this hospital are open. Anybody who have interest, who want to maybe build local housing, we can subsidize. If anybody have a plan, they can bring it forward. We can work along with it. Is that something wrong? Is that something wrong to say it? Then I said, how are we going to subsidize this hospital? I said, look, if it is one now that people in that area will pay, let it pay, because medication is very expensive. We cannot continue to rely on central government to do everything.
What you say? If the what? I didn't hear what you say. If the people in the area should pay what?
I just said $1 to contribute. Do a revolving fund. If you go there to get your medication, maybe you pay
Who should institute that? The government?
Of course.
When they start doing that, you will be the same guy coming right here and shouting all over the place.
Mr. So, you are very wrong. You know me. I always say I don't like any free thing. Samson is the one who like free thing.
Oh my goodness. Look, guys, man. Look.
I might be wrong, but disagree with me. But look, we have to start taking something. We have to start taking responsibility.
Are you a realist? Under the same very high economic cost, if the government of Liberia comes out today, if Samuel Tuwe, whoever the economic thing and advises the president come out today, every citizen from Bapolo, because first and foremost, they're going to be the direct beneficiary. Ordinary Liberian would not even think that, okay, somebody coming from Maryland, maybe they are in transit, going through Bapolo and they will get ill and they will go to that hospital. If I say, I will not go there, they will say, are you saying if the government were to come out today, people, not even Bapolo alone, because let's look at all of the surrounding, the bombing and all of that. Because we don't know who's going to go there, but we are talking about a contingency plan to sustain the hospital. That's what we are talking about. So we're going to take a holistic approach. We're not going to narrow the scope.
I didn't narrow before. I made mention, I said, even with liquor sale and tobacco, which will consume a whole lot in Liberia, I said government could put a taxation on it to sustain the hospital. But are you
talking about some sort of commodity, but you're talking about citizens?
No, if you go to the tape, I earlier stated that in my presentation. I go back to the tape.
Well, are you taking back the dollar from citizens?
I was just giving an example. Because
can I make my closing? Can I make my closing, Mr. So?
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Can I make my closing now?
But when I told you why you want to make
that's a problem. You don't. What you want to say? You don't even know that these people that are contesting. So what you want to close on? What you want to tell us?
You hold on,
Mr. So, can I make my closing?
No, something to you. Still
hold on at your own time, man. Hold on, please.
Oh, Mr. So, what I'm saying here, Liberia, we have to start taking responsibility. The government does not have the resources to fund auditing fully. If you appeal to the people, and that was it, the community must get involved. Now, look, if the medicine costs $2, pay 75 cents. It's like a revolving fund. We add it up to buy the replenish the drugs that are being given.
Okay, before we go here, were you Amos George? trust the CDC government if it were to come, because you're taking it back to this whole insurance thing that was not working. If they come out today, this structure, and say, let's do it as a revolving, as you are suggesting, will you trust the decisions of this administration?
I would trust them, but there must be accountability. Accountability. You talk about any rest, they said the NCDC said they were not going to carry the price of rest up. Samuel 12 on tape that on a judge we are watching. What happened? And rest $2.50 today.
Wow.
They added $2.50.
All right, guys, we are already over the time. Our next will be the elephant in the room.
Can I just go on the record for that revolving fund thing?
Yeah.
If the government of Liberia institute a revolving fund to sustain a hospital, regardless of where it's at, I would be the first Liberian to go to Liberia and sue the government that is illegal.
Well, I know the whole time they had a JFK.
So JFK, do the people in Mosorado County pay for JFK?
It used to be that when you go to serve.
I'm not talking about used to. I'm talking about right now. We're talking about right now. We want to be equitable.
The whole system gone down.
We want to be equitable. The people in Brown County, do they pay for the hospital there?
But says what I said.
Have they ever paid? The next thing is, when we start to look at that, what other government service do we carry that to? Since we got police pushing in Brown County, do the police people pay for they have a revolving fund to support the police in Brown County? We cannot do that to government entities.
No. Says you're missing the point. What I'm seeing here, at JFK at the time, the National Drug Agency was there. When you get a prescription, you pay half of the price to get that drugs. It was a revolving fund that the government set up at that time. Go ask anybody when those time was there.
But George, that is different from you taxing every resident of the county.
No, listen. Listen, you're missing it.
No, but the way you said, you said
you should tax the people in you said I'm gonna pay $1.
Listen, I said two things. In my other presentation, I said if even we can tax liquor.
Okay, let's say what are you saying now?
With that part. I got a problem with the part where you're taxing citizens to sustain a government entity. The next thing we say, hold on, Babe, in Zaporu County, we are now the people don't have the same amount of police officers as the people in Mosorado. So should the people in Mosorado are paying to sustain the national
is that a slip of tongue?
That was a slip of tongue. But in my let it straight. If you go to all my presentation at Mayor, I said the national we should tax these two products nationally.
Liberia Public Radio at its best.
That will contribute to the health sector of Liberia.
Okay, guys.
I agree with you on that. Just that we got a road fund.
Can I make my closing, Mr. So?
That was a mistake.
The reason I was shouting kind of a little bit louder about taxing citizens with that, but like a commodity, like liquor, cigarette, like even in my own state, that's another way government or local state or people, that's what it's supposed to be doing. But we look in the country the way it is, and businesses, people are struggling, but they just got to be strategic and get
Let us start taxing all these churches that got less than 200 members more money to support the hospitals. You guys taxing more money.
I know all the attire goes to there, but they don't even give anything. Well, guys, what a great evening. And the next last and profiling, something to please. We'll
Mr. So, can I say my closing?
I am in charge.
Let me ask you a question. Your son said 12-year-old?
I'm not going to Liberia right now. If that's where you're going, and I'm going anywhere. But let me say this, Mr. So. Let me say this, please. Yes, the interesting thing about the hospital here.
Are you coming back? Is that your closing?
No. Different. It's a little connection.
I'm on a closing statement now already. If you talk about the hospital,
let me say this.
Is that your closing?
On a very serious note, the upcoming campaign, those of us that consider ourselves political junkie, now that McGill is out of the picture and the vice president is now the face, pretty much the face of CDC, you saw the vice president welcome wholeheartedly by Moruba Moru at his house. I think they're making this lady the face of CDC. And this will help them greatly. Since Mona Peno no longer alive, if they put this lady in charge, she will help them. Look at what happened. And I'm not saying whether you like it or don't like it, but just look at the uptake of this hospital stuff. She went on Spoon TV Saturday and started sharing a bunch of pictures. So by the time the president got over there to whatever he has to do to dedicate the place, the interest of the hospital in the mind of Liberian becomes huge because she have exposed that. And she made it clear to all Liberians that were watching Spoon that day that there is a beautiful hospital in the place. If this woman and this president continue to work hand in hand like this, I think the opposition have another thing coming.
Yeah,
That's what I want to say.
they will fire all of y'all.
This guy here, where does he really? Where which way? Where is he? Who is he for?
Mr. So, I'm here to be truthful. Even if I don't like it, as long as it's truth, I will say it. I will not hide anything. And first thing I keep telling you, I evolve. I'm not sitting down one place and say, oh, this is what. No, something move. I like it. I move with it. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's how it is. I'm not gonna sit down here because of some people might say, you think I'm here for kumbaya business?
Joseph Boyka, are you hearing it? Ambassador
I don't know Ambassador Baka. He doesn't know me. I just admire him. I'm not. If I was like, what's his name? What's his young guy name again? George Lobo. If I was George Lobo, yeah, then you can say that. But I'm not George Lobo.
Okay.
I'm not any of these people's stuff.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. I think the next thing we need to be looking at now, these people type vision for the country. We need to know how much they are willing to invest in education. We're talking about these infrastructure. We're talking about health and all of that. I don't know where they have it. We'll try to reach to them, but we can't just say government not doing this, government not doing this. Yes, we understand you're still not government, but you need to start coming. We are approaching. We are already in the electoral process. Forget about what ACOM or NEC NEC is doing now. Yeah, but eventually the election will be executed. You can say because election registration or blah blah not going on, so you to hold everything to your chest and you want us to just say government. They gotta start telling us who they are, what they represent, who are those they are bringing. So they shouldn't be hiding behind shadow and can't give us a surprise at the end of the day to counter, knowing what I know. No, we don't want that. We need to know. So we gotta start digging. I think we've been talking about the education system, we've been talking about the health system, we're talking about the infrastructure. Now, all of these people coming, they are coming with the mindset they're going to be a game changer. The thing going to be a bread butter. Nobody going to be eating gari again. So they need to unveil themselves, let them put their books out there in the public so we start looking at it. I'm not a big spender. I want to know how the government going to be downsized. Everybody get green barrel. Yeah, CDC folks are wearing red barrel. They also get a blue barrel. They get a black barrel. How they going to, what is the future of this young generation with their folks still be wearing this backpack behind them? How they going to treat them differently than what we are having now? I think those are the kind of conversation we need to start having. So for those of you who support them, let's see their agenda to what they have in store. I don't want to buy pig in bag. Guys, thank you so much. And anybody, 1 minute closing statement before we leave? The Liberal will be the last.
I'll go first.
The Liberal will be the last on this.
I think, and I don't want to, fast speak because I know maybe there's something already in the think tank, but I would expect, and I know based on patterns, that the Cummins Foundation might be providing some medical supplies to their hospital soon, because I've seen him do that over the years. And I'm expecting that the Joseph Nyamubuake Foundation will be providing some services to that hospital, because I know he has a foundation. My guy doesn't have a foundation, we're broke. So, but we might be able to, I'm sure that everybody can come around, coalesce and say the people of Bapuru, the surrounding villages, those people that have had to drive to Telewian Hospital in Vanjama or to the government hospital in Tottenberg, that died along the way can go to the Emirate Hospital. And the way to make that happen is to work with the government hand in glove to see how these foundations can do that. I'm only saying this because I know Alexander Cummings and his passion for philanthropy. I know Joseph Jimabwaka and his passion for philanthropy. So I know they'll be able to do that. The only thing I want to point out here, though, Mr. So, when you talk about these political parties and their ideologies, I will hope that this platform will provide an access to these people to come up, not just talk about a whole platform, but to do a step one at a time. We have a day for security. We have a day for healthcare. We have a day for education. You come because these people, when they give us skeletons and they just throw big words around and they don't understand what it means they themselves, we run into the issue of the PAPD, where everybody got different understanding of it. So to allow the ANC, to allow the Unity Party, to allow the LPP, to allow the Ministry of Labor, MOL, to bring their people over and sit down and talk actual content, skeleton and flesh, about what their ideologies, what they think about the healthcare system, how are they going to improve it. You have an 11% budget committed to education. Are you planning on moving that forward? How do you plan to do that? How much do you expect that to go into training, into teacher training, into schools being available and being of quality nature? How much are you going to spend in each of these facets? We have to have these people to speak to those. Other than that, we run into an issue where people just can give a pro agenda for development, and nobody can interpret it kind of the Bible. Everybody interpret it in different ways based on how they feel on that day.
Okay. I think that's a very good point. Hopefully they will Amos George.
Yes, let me say this. The hospitals in Liberia, I think this government and any other government coming in, they should start looking at taxation on certain commodities, the beer and the cigarette. Let the government set up a scheme that will collect whatever tax levy against those two products to help to fund hospitals around the country, because hospital is very vital. They are scarce resources. If you don't want to pay 500 beer, then don't drink beer. If I can smoke, I don't want to pay 1 cent or 2 cents, I will not smoke. But we have to start some innovation that will help us to maintain some of the facilities, because the hospital is very crucial. I know there are many people today crying in that area because some people may be aunt or mother died from childbirth because there are no hospital in that area. So if we are to maintain these things, we have to make some sacrifices. We have to make those sacrifices to maintain some of those facilities. Because if we just depend government, no, it will not help us. I always say, Hano cannot, giving people Hano will not develop our country. We have to take some responsibility. Times are hard, but yet our people have to live and we have to do something. And the last point I want to make, these political parties, we have to hold them accountable. They have to tell us how much money they're going to put in education this year, next year, and where that money is going to come from. In healthcare, what will be the budget? How they want to improve this healthcare over the years? How much will go into it this year? Next year, how the budget going to go and where the money will come from? Security, the same thing. Because security is very vital in a country. Because the lack of security in our country. So 3 young men were murdered, I think Christmas Day for yesterday, in the street. And people lost a whole lot of goods, money, everything. Can you imagine people running from Lane Street up to Central Mall at one policeman? These are all crucial issues, and the political leader must tell us how they're going to solve this problem.
Okay, it's good it's coming from the House's mouth. Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you for the show again today, and thanks to everyone on the platform. Yeah, I know we quick 1 minute. But for any development to take place, it can take place in isolation. We can have all of our count against the former Unity Party-led government, but it needed to have road to Nimba County before they can have the dream about having Jason Fiado. And Nimbayans and sector wise to take road equipment to that far. So you need roads, you need lights, you need water, housing, business, security to give the place a better environment so that people can be attracted to that environment. That's how it works. On the front of the vice standard bearer, I see that we bickering, beating our head. When the vice standard bearer, the party, they're coming, and what are they doing? A cast in stone. You cannot be on the ballot where you don't have a vice standard bearer. So, Mr. So, for the news content, it will come. Mr. Comey even made mention of quarter, give specificity that it might be within the first quarter of next year when the CPP goes to convention. So just be patient a little bit, Papa. Just wait small. On the political party being held accountable, we can try to hold the political party accountable. But the challenge to different platforms right now is to tell the government in verbatim tone that if the president can take seriously the action of the Treasury Department, you ban them for coming on any radio or any platform. Then you hold the opposition, we'll help you to hold the opposition. But the Treasury Department that ever Liberian want to come to America can sanction our official and the president does nothing absolutely about it, and we just brush it aside. Why opposition are coming together? What happened to the opposition? The opposition will have to do her best, which I agree with you, we should question it. But we should question more the people who collect the taxes and expend the taxes.
Okay. The Liberal.
Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful good night, and I'll say good night to all of you.
That the closing statement you are waiting for?
Mr. So, don't I have the right to say what I want to say?
I'll just pointed out something great. Now, and is especially to the major political actors that have foundation. In as much Cummings gave money to Prince Johnson for his university, and knowing Lofa is a rich area because of in the proximity of Bapolu, I think that's what they need to be. They need to do. If they try to go too critical, I'm just doing this free consultancy.
Okay.
If you try to go too critical and begin to look at these things.
Cummings went to the Royal Hospital and paid the staff there.
Come on, George.
Yeah.
You took by your statement, right? You say it was a slip or turn.
What?
About citizen paying that off.
Oh no, Mr. So, I said in my.
Okay. All right. So let me just do
Don't let Mr. Soga, you have blood pressure. Why you
no, I'm not emotional. I'm just saying that was a slip or turn, but I want to correct it because you said.
You know what? It remind me when you said that Abbas Bono, the former Secretary General of ECOWAS.
But when you said that Elizabeth Cummings gave Prince 50,000, but Elizabeth Cummings paid the nurses and doctor in the Delaware Hospital in Lofa County. I think that was last year.
Let me giving free political advice to ANC and Unity Party.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. I'm just saying this. They are more or less humanitarian stuff, but they shouldn't make it of a political issue. When they do that, it's really going to backfire. And I think yes, we got to hold these people. All of the can we, Jonathan, Sissy, Amos George? I can't put something to in this because the people don't know him. He's just talking. Is it possible that we can start having some top surrogates who you guys know within your own inner words to start having some real conversation?
Jonathan want to have that Martin that gay will. Jonathan.
Because why do
we need other people? We ourselves can provide that kind of information. We have the expertise here.
Something too. You now member Joseph Boakai party, so you don't know that you don't know the economic plan for the country. Okay, you can only speculate.
Exactly. We want to hold people accountable. Well, folks, to our viewers, listeners, we want to thank you.
Way is in the circle comments, so we can invite him to come and talk to us.
We need to do that.
And maybe you can invite Anthony Kessley from Liberty Party. Something too.
But any last time Dr. Kamara was here, bring Dr. Kamara.
Oh, Sissy. Please, y'all go home. Folks, thank you so much and have a pleasant evening. Because they are about to muddy everything up now. Well, folks, I'm Afonso Z and sort of the library. Sometimes it can get a little bit dicey here, but I think we must all be held accountable. And that will be a slippery ground when when the opposition decide to make a political issue of this hospital, instead of giving sort of commendations and play that softball where they think they can make contributions or how they can intervene. If they don't know how to walk that land, that would be a dangerous ground for them to walk on here, because the CDC will be pointing out, in as much there are other baggages, but they will be pointing out, this is where we are going, this is what we have done. What have you? What are your plans? We don't know their plans. They want to get us, they want to put us, create a surprise for us. And I don't think that all of us, we are not up for that. So we don't want to keep waiting on. We need to do what they need to do right now. Folks, I want to thank you so much for your time, this morning, this evening, afternoon, depending on your location. So thank you so much for sharing your evening with us. And we'll leave you with this beautiful song.
DJ Square Production Classic today.
Oh, don't wait.
Opposition, imposition, also positioned, do not wait. Intervene right now. We need to know who you are. We need to know what you represent. We need to know who is your running mate. Why? What? 9 months to the election?
Don't wait. Oh yeah, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Don't wait, yeah. Don't wait. Don't wait, my brother, don't wait. Don't wait. My sister, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I'm in the hospital, don't wait. Don't wait. I'm dying, don't wait. Don't wait. I need your help, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Please help me, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. Don't wait. I need you help me now, don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Don't wait till I die before you help me. If you want to help me right now. Don't wait, don't sister. Don't wait. I said don't wait. My brethren, don't wait. Don't wait till I die before you help me. I need your help. Help me right now. I'm in the hospital, lying on my sick bed. I just need you to help me one more life.
Now the hospital is dead, so what we need to do is to equip the hospital, play our part, do our part, and then we can critique the government.
And Jehovah will bless you. Don't wait till I die to rain cast and get my body to the grave. I said don't wait when I die before you praise me. Don't wait when I die to cry for me, man. Oh, don't wait when I die to post my photo.
My own girl from my own state of the ocean state of Rhode Island, Deborah. Good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening.
She was saying got up one day. I said she.
P. Here in Mossad, of course, you are. Thank you so much for your time, for your company, and my own sisters right there in Australia. Martin, and good evening. Good morning.
In the dark of say, they should prefer pound of love.
Prince Kamarat, no exception to you. Thank you so much for your commitment.
Oh yeah, giving your song, una effort the money.
Of course, Kakai Falilet, thank you so much. And they shouldn't wait. They need to tell us who their VP.
To Uncle Johnny place, he said, Uncle, my mother is you. I left my.
And I'm quite sure Jerry agree with me.
In the dark of say, we should breathe up and love. Uncle, please tell my mother. Uncle, help my mother. Uncle, I beg you help.
Paula and Zion, thank you so much for your time. Belintu, Ibrahim Bengu, thank you so much for your commitment to this network. And Angie Dualu, thank you so much.
He said, my son, I don't have no money, oh. My son, no money, oh. What tell your mama say? I don't have no money, oh. I will see what to do. But next week, my son, no money.
And that's the voice of Minister Jimaman Tuwaka, voice fading away right here on the Diaspora Informative News outlet, Liberia Public Radio. Maybe I'll tell my own boy, the money maker, Jerome, tell it to go to Ray. He's a strong supporter of the CDC-led government. Thank you so much, Lamint and James Fremer. Amen. And entitled, what Monica, thank you so much. And my own boy, fellow Baswa, is in the house. The Baswa, the man.
He went to Auntie Asta place. He said, Auntie, my mother is dying. I left my mother at the hospital, and the doctor said we should be $500. I have come to beg.
Joel Tayon, James Tanont, and Cassio. Thank you so much, Roland, and all of these great people in the house. And of course, all our contributors are our own man, boy. Wallahin, and good evening. Thank you so much, James Doe, Sonion, Kroma. Thank you so much. Jerome is asking for the 70K. I know we got to be asking them. We don't even know what that money, what the outcome of that money.
Son, I wish you well. I wish you well. Go tell your mama, say, I wish her well. He left, he went to Uncle Bob's place. Papa was so rich. He was rich. He had everything to his disposal.
And from Big Apple State for fun and good evening. Well, folks, every good thing must come to an end. I'm Alfonso Z and Sot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to thank you for your time, your interactions. Man, Collins, Terry, thank you so much for always being there with us. Your comments, your tweets are quite interesting, very informative, and help us to learn as well. Until then, by God's willing, same time, same network, we are off tomorrow. We're going to be back here Friday. And the house is going to be in 4. The ladies going to be here. And we will take on national conversation here. To the oppositions, Emily, thank you so much for coming. And the Secretary General of our own organization, Mr. Jerry Sapi. Mami Esther Tapemo, thank you so much. You are always one of our valuable and important listeners. Thank you so much for your time, your conversations, your tweet. Stevens, Alice, oh man, the list is so huge. But I will say thank you, all of you, for being part of today's program. What we are doing, we're doing it for Liberia, not necessarily for this individual, because these people will fade away. Where is Tutman? Where is Samuel Doe? Where is Charles Taylor? Where is Helen Johnson Sirleaf? One thing that I do know that's still standing tall is the motherland, the Republic of Liberia.
Is no more. Mama is gone, and left alone. Mama is gone, no. Oh, Papa. Mama is no more. He said, sorry, my son, don't worry.
And the man from the boiler room is here, Prince, man, you're double. The boiler guy, he puts you in a pot and cook you. If you're not done, he come from the boiler's room, you're all soft and nice and good to go. Mr. Joel Goody, thank you so much. Gibson Pay.
My son, he porridge, don't worry.
Thank you so much, McDonald.
As I said, I will do the dressing. And then Johnny said, I will do the rest.
And that's what happens when you don't intervene, when the trouble falls down, then they begin to apportion. I will buy the casket, I will be this, I will buy this, I will do the void. And this is what the songwriter said: do not wait, don't wait. Ruth Anderson, Nancy Ruth Anderson, thank you so much for your commitment to this network. Josette Payne, thank you so much. And all of you great people. There is Kopo, John Tunua. Well, the list is so huge. If we don't call you, it's not on purpose, but we do appreciate all of your time, evening share with us here on this one. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye. I'm gonna pay 5. I don't call one of my mentors. I talk about Minister Kai Gerald, author of the book Liberty Hijack. I think folks needs to read that book, and then you're going to see what is happening in the politics of Liberia. Good evening, Chief. Thank you for being here.
Living, people don't help. The only way they have on you are dead. And they will post their photos on Facebook. Mama was so good. Papa was so good. Mama, 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 rest in peace.
When they call you inside me, she inside. Nobody comes to die. Don't wait. I'm dying, don't wait. Hell, don't wait. Don't wait till she just saw. Sani ko water you red. Rush through water, sad wala. You will come knocking your chair. Oh, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Oh, yeah, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
Well done, wait until that. This is the report. What we gather is better to share with us. This is to show that people are listening. And so when we come on these networks and we come to this conversation, we must do it with honesty. See what we gather here. So, and like our report here, the gender, age, and gender is divided into two categories. See, the men, follower of men, 33.3%. I know women 33.3%, and for men is 65.7 percent. Top country, this is kind of a little bit surprised. Top country people that listen to us, this is why we need to be very, very serious. You see, there are top countries that follow people that follow Liberia. Liberia, 65.1%. So people in Liberia are listening to us. So we must come with honesty. I was surprised. I thought maybe US would top it. US is 26%, Nigeria 3%, Ghana 2%, Egypt, Finland, India, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. And look at Morovia. It's amazing. Cities. Morovia is 59.1% of people that follow us. Philadelphia came second. And then you have a top country, Liberia again. You look at the sketch, it hit it at 61.1% maintained. USA. And then you look at the audience cities. Look at Morovia, 59. Philadelphia is always, and my own city, Zulu Whiskey, is the Brooklyn Park. All of that. So this is to show that people are listening to and they are following to what we are doing. So when we come to this conversation, we got to be honest. We got to be sincere for the good of the country. Until then, I'm Afonso Zain, sort of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Have a pleasant evening. Please stay safe. Still burn yourself up. The water is still horrible, depending where we are. We pray for each and every one. We say kudos for the construction of that hospital. It's going to save life. At least people from that area, they will not be going far places. We just hope actual plans put in place to maintain that hospital. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.